Hello, I'm Deb Kais with Stampin' on the Hill. Welcome. Today I have, well, it's supposed to be a technique day. And so I wanted to kind of give you some ideas. The products of the month, and I said products because there are actually two, are the Christmas Tags and More Designer Series paper pack and the Greetings for You ephemera pack. I wanted to show them to you, and I will in just a moment. But we're using these products, and this month is kind of going to be all about gift tags. So let me put down, let me show you my hands here a second. Here we go. So I've made a few. These are a couple of the ones that I made for the class that we're going to do. But let me, well, I'll just show them to you here. I've got, this one's got a little hole in the back here, and then it kind of swings. So I use just some baker's twine, and this one swings like this, so you can kind of get the idea. This is just a shorter little piece that I just used the DSP for, and the words are all the ephemera. So the joy here and Merry Christmas there. And then these other little stickers are stickers that came with the DSP. So you get the idea here. And this one I used more like a little slot punch. And let me show you those a second. Well, let me show you the DSP and stuff first. All right, the ephemera pack. So the ephemera pack, and some of mine are missing because I already used them. The ephemera pack, you get 2 each of these 3 sheets, and these are stickers. So when you pull them off, they're already die cut, and they're pretty thick too. So you could just stick them straight on. It's got a backer stuff. You can see, can you see the little lines in them? Let's see if I can get it to show you. There, you can kind of see a line in this. Well, you could a second ago. There it is. See the line there? So then you sort of bend them to pull it apart. You know how the backing of stickers work. So anyway, you get 2 of each of these 3 sheets. So 6 sheets total of the ephemera pack. And then the DSP has, there are, let's see, 8 sheets of 4 designs. So here's one design, and this is the back. And here's another one, and here's the back. And then there's this one, and there's the back. This is a really light, like the seafoam green. And then here's the 4th one and the back of that. So you could really do all greens if you wanted to. And then these are the 2 stickers. Well, you get two of this sheet and 2 of this sheet. So 4 sheets total of these are not stickers. These are just die cuts. Excuse me. And so you can tell that I've used some of these as well. But so a total of 36 sheets in the pack. So 8 sheets of each of these 4 designs plus 2 each of these 2 die cut sheets come in that designer series paper. All right, so let's start with, let's bring in a cutter. How did I cut my tags? Well, I want to tell you that I started with a piece of like a half a sheet. And if you take my class, you'll be getting half sheets, but I'm going to cut them this way. So you're going to get a half a sheet this way. So it's 4 1/4 by 11 when we're all finished with it. Okay. So then we end up with this for 4 1/4 by 11. And then I cut these at 2 inches each. So then I got 5 sheets out of this. And then I had a little left over that I could use for either a different project, or maybe I could use it as like a mat behind my words or whatever. Let's see here. So then what I did, bring this example back in, then what I did was, once I had my 2 by 4 1/4 pieces. I actually have an old, and this is retired, punch that is called banner end punch. So if you have this, you're in luck. But if you don't, it's okay. So I use this, and I'm not sure this is going to fit in here. Let me try this color green that I just have here. So I use this, and I just brought it down in there. I don't think I even put it all, no, because this is all the way in. So I eyeballed where the end of my paper came through, and then I gave it a punch. Now I could take that punch and I could use it to line up the top. Okay, so here's where I'm going to go with this, because if you don't have the punch, you're going to want to make yourself a little template. And so what I've done is I used the back of my DSP. So this is well, I cut this one down. This used to be 12 by 12. You can see my little stuff on the back. So I'm going to cut this down to the 2 inches by 4 1/4 inches, because that's what I'm using as my size. Okay. And then what you can do is line this up at the 1 inch, and you can make a slice that goes all the way up, or you can just use your scissors. But if you wanted to do it this way, let's see, looks like I have about 3 1/2. So if I cut it up to the 3 1/2 mark, like that, then I'll bring in my scissors and snip from this corner to the top of this corner. You can use this, you can do this on your cutter too if you want, your trimmer. And then this one up to here. There we go. And then for the top, didn't work out real well, did it? There we go. That's much better. Okay. So then for the top, what I did was this is me, but I put mine in my heartfelt hexagon punch, and I went like that, and I cut off just the tips. You can see, can you see my little hole up here where it's flat? So I adjusted where I wanted it, and this is what I did with mine. Now you could, if you wanted to, you could use the same angle. Let's see, how can we make the same angle? Move my cutter out of the way here a second. And bring in a ruler of some sort. All right. And you can actually just line this up on a grid paper here, and then line this up with your top up here. So you've got a line going straight here, and then you could use a pencil. You can just trim these edges off here. And then you could do the same with this one. Where was my line? There it is. My fingers are sticky, apparently. And this one was at that line. And then you can cut those off. And then you have a template so that there we go. So now you have a template. So now you can bring in any piece of 2 by, this is a little bit bigger than 2, but you could bring in any piece and you can make it work for you. So even though this is a little bit wider than 2, I could still eyeball and cut this corner up like this, and I can still cut, well, I would cut probably from the middle of this one up first and then use the corners that way. But just to give you some ideas of how you can use the tools that you have on hand, make a template, and it makes it a lot easier to have all of yours consistent. Not that they have to be. You don't have to be consistent. Once I had one done, like this one per se, before I started using it, I ended up using this one as my guide. But it's a good thing to have on hand. It's a little bit thicker so that and you can just label it the template, and you can put on here what size it is so that you know. The other thing I wanted to show you about these are some other different these punches, and these are really old. They're both Stampin' Up, but this is one of the really old whale tail punches, but that's where I got my little slit for the top. So this, I would just eyeball how far in I really wanted it, because you don't want it to go all the way in, right? And then this is the one that I used for just the circle punch. But that's only because I have them. Let me show you quick that we do have an option that is the hole punch assortment option. So it has two. It has the little slit punch, and it has the 1/8 inch hole punch. And then this one has another cute little top punch too. So that's how you can make holes, or you can do it however you like. If you wanted to, I'm just thinking about regular holes. You don't have to have the slit kind of hole. It's fine. Let's see. So, I think that's all that I really have for you today. Different ways to use your punches. This one's a cool punch that I just got too. This is called, it's funny, it's showing a reflection of my whole camera. This is called the 3 banner punch. And I typically don't like punches that have more than one punch on it because I feel like it's kind of wasteful. But in this particular case, I bought it because it was part of a bundle, but also because I thought, well, I could cut my strips of paper approximately the right size and then just stick them in whichever size I wanted. So I think it's cool that it's got the, try to get this so it's not reflecting in your face here. It's got this one and then the opposite of that. So you could really do, if you made it the right size, it looks like you could probably do a long one with and both ends. Let's try it a second. Let's see what that looks like. Let's try to do, let's go with a 1/2 inch here. Might be bigger than that. It's about right. Okay. So if we put this into from the top, so don't put it all the way in, but put it in from the top just to make sure easier for me to do. Okay. And then make sure that it's straight in there. Give that a punch, right? Now, if I wanted it to be all this big and I wanted the arrow on this side, I'm going to do the same thing with this part of the arrow down here. As soon as I can get it in the right hole there. Give that a punch. And now I have one big long arrow. So that was fun. It'd be good for scrapbooking too, right? Because your pages are typically bigger. All right. So get my glasses out of the way and come on back to you. I hope you found some useful information in this. I'm also going to post some details on my blog so that you can refer back to it if you wish. And my class, that I usually include all the tutorials in my monthly newsletter. In this particular month, because we're doing these tags, I have pictures of all the tags. Yeah, I have pictures of all the tags, and I have some general measurements, but kind of it's all up to you, and you can use your imagination. So there's only one PDF this month, but in order to get that for free, you need to subscribe to the newsletter because it will come out the beginning of December in your newsletter. So, and that will be an attachment for free. If you are not subscribed to the newsletter yet, I will post a link to both the blog and the newsletter subscription link in the details here in the description of the video. And you can just, or on my Facebook page, if you're there, you can just click on the content I think it says contact us, and it's got a little thing to fill out with your name and email address to subscribe. Next week, we're doing the monthly challenge, sketch challenge. So I hope to see you then. Thanks for watching.